Welcome to the Fourth and Short podcast, a breakdown of the hottest topics on the Skook League sports scene, with your hosts, Eli Doyle and Leroy Boyer.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the T102sportsnow.com's podcast, Fourth and Short. We are here live atop Lawton's Hill in Pottsville with the Nativity football team, 5-1, heading into our week 7 of the high school football season. We are joined by a whole collection of members of the Nativity squad from left to right. Well, Eli Doyle is in the middle there, co-host sporting his Nativity baseball hat. Pat Mason, head coach, is far left, far your right, my left. We got seniors Noah Dalbin, Nick Wagner, Sam Walborn, my man Mark Kimmel right here, who's going to talk really loud and really crisp today. Guys, hey, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Mark, let's talk about the big guys up front, right? Because these guys aren't superstars unless it's guys like you, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how great the offensive line here is at Nativity and how well you've played so far.
We matured definitely from last year, and obviously looking at the stats have just shown how well we improved, and I just don't think there's much more to say other than the stats in the film.
What did you guys do in the offseason as a lineman to get better?
We lifted a whole lot. We did speed and conditioning, definitely a whole lot because we needed it.
Hey, my question over here is for Coach Mason. You know, we talked a lot before the season about a senior-led team, right? How many seniors do you have in total here?
We have 16 seniors.
16 seniors. So tell me about, what's been a challenge with this group. We know how great they've played so far this year, but, most of these kids you've had for 4 years now. Just tell me about some of the challenges that you face with these kids.
I'll be honest, not many.
Yeah.
And it's because, most of these guys, Noah's been starting since he's a freshman. Mark's starting since he's a freshman. Most of the other guys started when they were sophomores. We needed them, and we lost that big senior class, with Cody Miller and Steven Spolsky, and then when them guys left, we pretty much were a freshman, sophomore team. Took a lot of lumps. We took a lot of lumps. But, we have good leadership. Our kids are playing really hard. The nice part about it is we switched to the wing T last year. Okay, so this is the second year we've been running it. So we didn't really have to wait too long for the install. Everything was pretty much in. We went all summer, 7-on-7s and doing everything. The offense, most of the offense has been in since they've been freshmen. So, it's been good. It's been a little easier this year because of that lack of transitioning into a different offense. We used to run a spread a lot here. We felt we were better going under center, running the football, and I think we're really balanced. You can look at the stats. We should be somewhere around 1,500 yards rushing, 1,000 yards passing, so I think we're a big challenge for a lot of our opponents because, if you want to, double Noah or, stop the pass, we're going to run the ball, and I think we've been really effective. Our offensive line, I can't say enough about them. We're about 6-7 deep there, and they're just doing a really good job this year.
Nativity's 5-1. They opened the season with a 52-0 win over Holy Redeemer, defeated Pine Grove the next week 53-7. Only blemish came in week 3, a 34-31 loss in the final seconds to Williams Valley. Since then, 34-13 at Tri-Valley, a win. Last 2 games, 60-0 over Panther Valley, 50-0 over Shenandoah Valley. They've outscored their opponents 280-54, and they're right in the middle of that District 2, District 11 Class A sub-regional playoff hunt. Let's talk defense first, Nick Wagner. Talk about the Nativity defense. I think it's 10 interceptions at this point you guys have. 4 of them have been returned for touchdowns. Just talk defense, and that's an amazing statistic. 4 pick sixes in it was like 2 weeks, more or less a whole season.
I think we have a really fast defense. We all fly to the ball. We all want to make the tackle. Everyone just kind of builds off each other, works off each other. If one person's crossing, we let each other know. We're one big group out there. We don't play individually. We play as a team on defense, and I think that's why we're getting so many opportunities for interceptions and pick sixes.
A lot of people have heard of Noah Dalbin. That's him over there. He's heading to Army to play football, but not too many people have heard about this guy, Sam Walborn, who I think is the extra element to the Nativity offense this year. Sam, comment on your season. You lead a team in rushing, have a lot of touchdowns, have plays on defense. Talk about stepping up this year and becoming a vital part of the Nativity squad.
I just been keeping my head down, working, always thanking my teammates for everything, trying to be a captain this year. Just gotta keep my head down working.
Hey Noah, You and quarterback Ben Kreitzer, feels like you guys have been together for a long time now. I want you to tell me a little bit about the chemistry, but tell me a little bit about the deep ball specifically, man. You guys know I've been combing through a lot of these clips that you guys have been sending me. 50-yard bomb, 60-yard bomb. What's you know off the top of your head what's the longest play you have this year?
It's probably upwards of 60 yards.
Yeah.
It's probably the longest we've had, but I don't know. Me and Ben have been throwing the ball since we were in like 3rd grade. We'd be chucking deep balls to each other in his backyard, and we've just been having that chemistry for like however long we've been together. So it's awesome.
You've played some teams that don't have winning records. We'll describe it as that. The next 4 weeks, however, is a kind of a gauntlet. Every team in the black and blue division of the Schuylkill Colonial Cooperative has had to go through that. Your gauntlet's coming up. At Montpelier this Friday, at Minersville, at Schuylkill Haven, and then season finale at St. Clair against Marion. Any one of these can answer. Just talk about that. How are you prepared? What are you looking forward to? How do you go through a 4-week grind like that?
I mean, I think we all need to stay locked in and focus on the prize at the end. We just need to, play as a team and just no negativity. We need to be positive, but, just build each other up and just stay united until the end.
Yeah, we need to. We can't take any game lightly, but we need to give some payback to some teams, and I feel like we could do that this year with this team we got.
I definitely agree on payback. Definitely like a big chip on our shoulders after last year and sophomore season as well.
Yeah, I just think teams are underestimating us because we're Nativity. Teams think we're soft, so I think if we just go up and show up, we're just going to show teams what we're made of.
I think the big turnaround for these guys was, the biggest loss that we had here in the last couple of years, and that was the district game last year. Where we get blown out by 40 points. 7 days later, we come back and winning with 3 minutes to go in the game. And I think mentally, just given this group who all played in that game last year, the confidence that they needed. They knew what they could do then. I mean, it was kind of one of those things we came off the field, we're like, see, we told you what you can do. I think we lost, 4 games last year when we had a chance to win at the end of the game, with last drive, not finish it. And that was kind of our motto all year, finish. We've got to finish games, and I think these guys have been doing that, responding, and executing. I mean, listen, regardless of the records of the teams we play, and, I obviously don't look at that. We look at wins. I mean, it's what it's all about, about winning games, and it's about executing. And I think our execution this year has been really good. Really good, regardless of who's on the field. I think our timing in the wing tee is on. Our quarterback's been playing very well. Our offensive lineman timing is on. That's really something I look at, and I think Nick touched on our speed. Our speed is awesome. We have a lot of kids that can run, obviously. We have 2 kids on our team here, Sam and Nick, who don't even run track, but they're right there with Noah and Mikey Stank and Noah and Dana Ravage, running right with them. They would be both really good track kids if they went out. Our team speed, and that's defense. Coach P and Coach Albon are doing a great job at our defense, and they're locked in every week. They're well coached, and they're executing. Again, it's all about executing. But hey, I got a story for you about Mr. Walborn. He sends me a picture one night and says, "Hey, Coach, I've always been the smallest." And he's a picture of him in the huddle in 8th grade. And it looks photoshopped. It really does. It does not look like a real photo. In fact, I was like, I can't believe someone put him on a football field that he was this small. So I had to look at the roster, and I went back and looked at the roster, and he was listed at 5 foot, 98 pounds when he was in 8th grade. And he's now 5'9", 5'10"-ish on a good day, I guess, right? He's about 165, pound for pound, one of the strongest kids on our team without question. Incredible work ethic, and it's paying off.
Guys, you made the move to North Schuylkill last year. Played some games there. I've heard the story. We've had it on our website about you guys coming to Coach Mason and saying, we want to play at St. Clair. What about St. Clair? They made some modifications to the place. There's a paved track, nice new scoreboard, new locker rooms for you guys. Just talk about what it means to play at St. Clair and ring the bell after a game that you win.
The place just feels like home. We've been playing there forever. We have ring it on all of our stuff, ring the bell. It just feels like at where we used to play, the drive, it didn't feel like a home game, so it's just nice to be at home again.
I feel like it's such a tradition at Nativity to ring the bell after a win, and I'm just glad that we're able to do that our senior year and that we get the opportunity to.
Yeah, it just feels like home. I mean, going up to North Skook was like, it just didn't feel right. Like, when you go to St. Clair, it just feels like you're at a Nativity game. When you're at North Skook, it doesn't feel like playing a Nativity game. I don't know. It just had a different feeling. So
I definitely love the bell. Freshman year, I didn't ring the bell too much, but this year I've been ringing it a whole lot. I love it.
So, do they let guys like you get to the bell first? I mean, all this track speed. Because I was at your game against Pine Grove, everybody shakes hands, and it is a 100-yard sprint from the middle of the field to the bell, which is located near the gate, kind of off of Franklin Street. I think that's Nickel Street there in St. Clair, right at the corner of the stadium. And do you box people out? Do you have to be closer to the front more to get there?
I do. I won't lie. I do push some kids. I think I accidentally pushed Andrew Verchik, and he kind of slipped. I had to pick him up. Then I rung the bell.
I think I saw that video this week.
Yeah, I actually
We've had some casualties at the bell
I
this year.
think I saw that video.
Connor Felty, Coy, Verchik. I mean, we've had a lot of casualties there. Well, usually we try to hit. I mean, Wags has been ducking me the last couple of wins, but Wags owes me a backflip after every win.
I've seen that.
Yes, it's super impressive.
We need to get that on video to put on our website.
He's such an athlete, man. He's so explosive, and he owes me one. But he's a little tired after the game. He ripped me off last week, so he owes me two this week.
I got you.
Coach, what's just your message to this team going forward? How do you get them to stay focused? Obviously, they're bought in. I tell you this all the time. I don't know what it is that's special about you, man, but I have friends, I have kids I've coached, I have people all the time that just tell me, Coach Mason, man, that's my favorite coach I ever had. What's your message to this team?
Well, I'm tough to deal with at times, I think, So I'm not letting them relax. I mean, if you would have had our practice today, I went nuts a little bit. I tend to yell a lot. But there's a message. I always tell them, listen, I'm going to be hard on you. I'll be the first guy, to criticize you when you don't do something right. But obviously, I'll be the first guy to give you a hug when you do. So I think I try to find that balance with all my kids. Try to find out what makes them tick. Obviously, some kids respond to different things, and that's my job. I mean, as a teacher, I do the same. And as an educator and as a coach, I try to do that. Try to find out what makes kids tick. And I think I will not settle for anything less than winning a championship this year. They know it. They know how I am. I know they're special. I know this group is different. I can feel it. I've been around a long time. I've been around some really good teams, teams who won championships, teams who won 10 games, teams who won 1 game. I've been through it all. In my entire career, I've coached great teams. I've coached not so great teams, and I think this team has it. I love the chemistry I feel with them. They respond really well to me, which is great as a coach. Be able to call, hey coach, I got you. I need this. I got you. Say to him, I need a catch. I got you. I need an interception. I need a block. I'm running your way, Mark. I got you. That's just how it is. That kind of what makes me feel that they're different. But obviously, look, we have a long road ahead of us. We have some lofty goals. We really, really, really believe in each other here, and I think it's just one of those years where we just got to take it 1 week at a time. So the message obviously is what we want to accomplish at the end of the year, but the message is week by week. Monoi's tough. They're tough. Every year they're tough. We beat them once since I've been here, and they come to play every week. I'm sure they're not going to lay down for Nativity. I'm sure they probably don't have a whole lot of respect for us, and they just say, hey, we're going to do what we do, and it's going to be that classic matchup, wing T football against option football, and we're just going to see. I think the game's going to be one up front. That's where it's one up front when you have two teams that run the football, and I have 100% confidence in our guys, and that we're going to show up and execute, and we're going to win the football game.
We better get wrapping this interview up, Leroy. These guys got a team dinner they've got to get to, and I don't want to make any of them mad. And after hearing that, I definitely don't want to make Coach Mason
mad. Already rumbling.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. T102 Sports Now's podcast, Fourth and Short. Join us today from Nativity. Head coach Pat Mason, Noah Dolbin, Nick Wagner, Sam Wilburn, and Mark Kimmel. Thanks, guys, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with part 2 of this week's podcast. Welcome back to this week's T102SportsNow.com's weekly podcast, Fourth and Short. This is Eli Doyle. I'm Leroy Boyer. And Eli, we are live at Nativity, where we just had a great sit-down chat with the Nativity football team. They're 5-1. They have 4 pretty tough games down the stretch, but looking to make that District 2-11 Class A sub-regional field where I think they could do some damage there.
Why don't you start for us quickly here? Just break down what that means a little bit for some people that don't understand.
Okay, so in Class A, there are only 3 teams in District 11, and there are only 3 teams in District 2. You obviously can't have a 4-team playoff with 3 teams, and it's really unfair to give one team a bye or one team not make it. So they combine districts. That's the way the PIAA works. They'll combine districts to get over that number and to create a tournament. So the 3 teams from District 2, Lackawanna Trail, Holy Cross, and Old Forge, and you have Nativity, Tri-Valley, and Marion from the Skook League. So those 2 teams, those 2 districts are combined. And then by power rating, the top 4 teams will get into the playoffs, regardless of what district they're from. If it's 3 teams from District 2 and somebody from District 11, or vice versa, or 2 and 2. If it's 2 and 2, no matter where they are, 1, 2, 3, and 4, District 2 teams will play in Week 11, and the District 11 teams will play in Week 11 and have a district championship game played on the field. And then those 2 winners will play in Week 12 for the sub-regional championship. It's a great move by both District 2 and District 11. It's something District 12 didn't agree upon a couple years ago, and it didn't really look right, and it didn't really feel right to the teams that were involved. This year they did it right. So if it works out that way, it could be 3 teams from District 11. All 6 teams are 500 or better, so through 6 weeks. So it's going to shake out to be a pretty good race down the stretch, and that's just going to create good football when we get to the playoffs.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and rattle off our scores from Week 6.
6. Wow, halfway or more than halfway home.
And I'm still excited.
And you're still excited. Hey, Friday, September 27th, Week 6 games. It was Pottsville 21, Lehighton 3, Northwestern Lehigh 49, North Schuylkill 7, Tamaqua 51, Bangor 0, Southern Lehigh 56, Jim Thorpe 12, Blue Mountain over Palisades 63-13. In the White Division, Friday night, Saucon Valley beat Catasauqua 62-14, and Notre Dame Green Pond beat Northern Lehigh 49-19. In the Blue Division, Marion upset Minersville 20-14 in overtime. It was Tri-Valley 49, Panther Valley 7, Mono Area 48, Pine Grove 22, Nativity 50, Shenandoah Valley 0. Schuylkill Haven won the battle of teams that are atop that division. They beat Williams Valley 38-30. And then there was 2 games on Saturday in the White Division. It was Palmerton over Wilson 32-28 and Penargil over Salisbury 21-3. The Marion game is obviously the game that sticks out.
Yeah,
Week 6 after, Marion lost to Mono Area the week before, and Minersville had played those 2 back and forth games with Williams Valley and Schuylkill Haven, and then Marion comes into Minersville and comes out with a win.
It's kind of ironic, both back to back were homecoming spoilers, right? Mono over Marion on their homecoming night, Marion then over Minersville on their homecoming night. Nothing we really didn't know though going into the game. Yes, of course, if you follow our pick show, it was a clean sweep for the Miners on the pick show. Of course, it didn't fare out that way on the field. There's just some things that pretty common knowledge if you are a regular to high school football and from the borough of Minersville. There's some key positions on that offense that are a little banged up after going through that gauntlet of Monoy, Williams Valley, and Schuylkill Haven in a row. Not in that order, of course, but just key positions in that offense that make that offense kind of go around. A little banged up. They need to get healthy. And Marion, they came to play. They came to play till the end. Getting that overtime touchdown put them ahead. I think they missed the extra point, and they stuffed Minersville from scoring and win the game.
Yeah, Minersville. I don't know if you want to call it like jet lag to a point. You play those 2 games where you lose to Williams Valley by a touchdown, and then you have the track meet with Schuylkill Haven where you lose 72-52. And one of the all-time games of the year. You're going to come down from that high at some point, and unfortunately it happened the following week. You get a couple key guys hurt, your key receiver, your quarterback get hurt, and all of a sudden, your backup quarterback was lost for the season the week before, and now who's going to guide this team? So there's going to be a lot of soul searching this week at Minersville. They have a game with Pine Grove. You would hope that they could rebound. They're in the thick of that AA playoff race. Kudos to Marion. A lot of people just wrote them off after Mono. Just to say it's all Minersville's fault. Marion also had some soul searching. What Marion does well is they run the football. Rory Dixon is one of the best running backs in our area. He's churning up the yards.
I think he accounted for, all 3 of those touchdowns in that game.
All 3 of those touchdowns. And they run the ball between the tackles very well. On a rainy night, on a slick surface, that's what they did. They came in and ran the football and won the game.
Yep. And on all accounts, they won the battle up front, too. So kudos to them. Give your applause to the Marion Colts for not writing off their season, right? Not taking maybe one upset on a big night and, coasting off into the end of the season and coming back. Still in the hunt for that Class A playoff spot.
That sub-regional is going to be one to watch. I mean, as of today, it was Lackawanna Trail, Nativity, Tri-Valley, Old Forge top 4 with Marion at number 5. Marion has some tough games down the stretch, but if they win a couple of games, and let's say Old Forge or Tri-Valley or whoever is above them loses a couple, that could flip.
Absolutely.
And there's, the 3 teams from District 2 all play each other, just like the teams from District 11 play each other. And there's Riverside factored in there. Riverside is a team from District 2 that's really good and undefeated, and all 3 of those teams have to play them yet. So there's lots of scoreboard watching that'll be done over the last 4 weeks. Week 7 already, buddy. Week 7, unbelievable.
Who'd have thought we'd make it this far?
All of our local games are Friday night again. In the Red Division, Pottsville is at Northwestern Lehigh. Blue Mountain's at Lehighton. North Schuylkill's at Bangor. Tamaqua's at Southern Lehigh. And in Catasauqua's at Jim Thorpe. In the Blue Division, Minersville goes to Pine Grove. Nativity travels to Monroe area. Schuylkill Haven visits Marion. Tri-Valley's at Shenandoah Valley. And Williams Valley is at Panther Valley. Let's talk Blue Raiders. We had the Tamaqua team on a couple weeks ago, live from Tamaqua. They haven't lost. They're 6-0. They have some tough games coming up starting Friday at a Southern Lehigh team that is absolutely smoking hot right now.
Yeah.
Lost in the 4th quarter to Blue Mountain in week 2. Have rattled off some impressive wins since. Beaten Pottsville, beaten North Schuylkill, throwing up a lot of points. Tough matchup for the Blue Raiders.
Very tough, especially the key to watching this matchup is up front. I don't think either team is really dominant up front, but whoever wins that battle could very likely sweep the game. I mean, I was telling you I got to watch the Southern Lehigh Pottsville game from the sideline. Southern Lehigh, they didn't push Pottsville all over the field by any means, but they ran the ball very effectively on Pottsville. Can they do that to Tamaqua? And vice versa, can Tamaqua, give them everything they got and more? Can they get the ball? Can Kane extend plays, get the ball downfield on those big 3rd and longs? Can they run the ball effectively on 1st and 2nd down? Some questions we're going to have to see if they get answered come Friday. It's going to be a really exciting game.
Tamaqua's not flashy. They don't have superstars, right? I mean, Luke Kane is a great quarterback. But they don't have the abundance of, like, Noah Dalbin, well-known talent type kids. But they do everything fundamentally right. And when you do everything fundamentally right and you stick to your game plan and you play hard defense and you keep the energy up throughout 48 minutes, good things happen. And that's what's going to happen for them to win on Friday on the turf at Southern Lehigh. I think Coach Sam Bonner would really like it if that game was on grass. It would probably help his team. They're used to that. But it's on the turf at Southern Lehigh. So we'll see how the Blue Raiders fare. They also have games with Northwestern Lehigh and Blue Mountain coming up on the schedule. So a big tough second half, last 4 weeks for Tamaqua. In the Blue Division, a couple interesting matchups. You have Nativity at Monoy. We've talked to Pat Mason. They've beaten Monoy one time in I think this is his 5th year. Might be more than that here. You have Schuylkill Havens at Marion. Havens played some really intense games the past couple weeks. Are they primed for a letdown?
And like last year, everybody. I don't. My memory's not that great, but I think I remember everybody was pretty high on Haven beating Marion to start the season last year, and I think it was the opposite way around.
That was a week 1 game last year at Marion, and Marion came out and dominated from start to finish and won 27-0. I'm sure Mike Farr and his staff have reminded his players of that every day. But Marion's on a super high right now, and then at home. So that game should be, one to watch. In addition to that, Nativity Monoy. Let's talk Monoy. Monoy was 0-4.
I could always talk Monoy, brother.
And had given up 200 points, I think, in 4 games. And then they come out and they win back-to-back games. They beat Marion, and then last week they beat Pine Grove.
Yeah, I was there. I'll tell you. I think, and I talked to Coach Holman about this a little bit after the game. We talk all about these gauntlets, right? Going through these gauntlets of the schedule, whether you're in the Red Division, down in the blue. At some point or another, you have to go through a tough stretch of games. We talked about it, and it seemed like their gauntlet started right away. Their gauntlet really started right away. These are the games that they know they can win. They know if they come out and play every quarter, everything they got, play physical football, play their style of football, run the ball well, mix in a pass here and there, and be explosive. That's Monoy football. That's Golden Bear football, and that's the key to success for them. Can they get it done against Nativity? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be the most physical game in the Skook. I know it's going to be the most physical game in Skook County this week.
A lot of our teams are on the road this week. Every one of the local teams in the red division are saddling up the buses and saddling up the cars and looking for places to eat because the road trips aren't close. I mean, Pottsville to northwestern Lehigh, not that far. Blue Mountain's been to Lehighton before. That's half hour, 45 minutes. But North Schuylkill pack an overnight bag. They're going to Bangor. Tamaqua is the same, over an hour trip to southern Lehigh. Jim Thorpe is home. They play Catasauqua. The same for the teams in the greater Pottsville area, all venturing to the north for the most part, at Monoy, at Marion, at Shenandoah, at Panther Valley. We'll have coverage of every game on T102sportsnow.com. It'll be a little later this week with our extended travel.
Absolutely.
But we'll definitely have it up there for you. I wrote a column this week, the Boyers Bulletin for the week, and it broke down the playoffs, Eli. Peeking ahead at the postseason. If you want to know how the playoffs shake out, who makes it, who gets in, who doesn't, how many teams in each bracket, I encourage you to read that because it's a pretty good breakdown. The sub-regional, how there's only 4 teams that make it in AAA, but there are 8 teams that make it in AA and 4A. How a 3-win Lehighton, 3-win Jim Thorpe, 2-win Monoy are, Monoy will have more than 2 wins. But my point is there are teams that'll have 2 or 3 wins that are going to get into playoffs, and you may have a team like North Schuylkill at 5-5 or 6-4 that may not. So that's a good column to read as far as breaking down the playoffs. Your final thoughts for this week?
Well, I think this week we're going to see a lot, what teams are made of for the playoffs. Playoff games aren't always on, home sites for the most part. There are a lot of neutral games that come about. Teams are going to have to travel. We're going to see what some of these teams are made of when it comes to that end of the playoffs and the traveling perspective. I think down in our enamored black and blue division, I think we're going to see some physical football this week. And I'm just excited for another great week of football. Honestly, I can't ask for much better right now. We've had a lot of great football being played in this county. As far as our website goes, it seems like the people have begun to buy in. You kids have been great at getting me clips. We're going to feature a little fastest 3 minutes of high school football in Schuylkill County at the end of this video. So, everything's just great right now. That's where I'm at with it.
Curious to see a couple things this week. Covered Pottsville for the first time last week. They struggled in the first half against Lehighton. Got a touchdown late in the first half to take the lead, then dominated in the second half. They go to northwestern Lehigh against the unbeaten Tigers, who have mauled everybody so far, and the helicopter's going to go off right behind us. So is this going to be, you going to catch this?
Yeah, I'm going to catch this.
Also, Tamaqua on turf. You're going to play playoff games on turf. How can the Blue Raiders fare on turf against a really good Southern Lehigh team? Those 2 games enamor me. We're going to sign off so we don't get blown away, and Eli's going to let the camera roll so that we can maybe get a helicopter rising up from the helipad here at Nativity atop Lawton Hill in Pottsville. That's Eli Doyle. I'm Leroy Boyer. Thanks for watching Week 7 of the T102sportsnow.com podcast, 4th and short.
And stick around for the fastest 3 minutes of high school football in Schuylkill County. We start in Pottsville, where points were at a premium early. But here, Juju Bainbridge scampers right up the middle. He could go all the way off your screen. We can't tell if he scored or not, but we know Pottsville got out in front eventually in this one. On defense, the Tide were playing tough. They forced turnovers. They bottled up the Lehighton offense all night long. This time it's Strankowski on the interception. Cookies, give me that. Pottsville 21, Lehighton 3. In Minersville on homecoming night for the Battle Miners, the Colts are going to play Spoiler Maker. That's the men of Marion. The Marion Colts, that is. This time Michael Galacco running the ball in the trenches for the tough yards pickup. Trick play alert. Trick play alert. Where's it going? Is it going left? Is it going right? No, it's going right up the middle to Galacco, who snapped the ball.
10-yard pickup there and a first down for the Marion Colts. Watch, he can line up anywhere, folks. He's in the backfield this time. He's going to pave a lane here for running back Rory Dixon, who had 3 big rushing touchdowns on the ground for the Colts tonight. This time, in the trenches, Aiden Milkovitz. He's going to bottle up the run here, gets right off a block, stops the rusher. He's doing this all night long, and he's helping the Colts to a big spoiler victory. Here on offense, he's pulling. Watch out, get out of the way, son. Rory's coming through. Back on defense, in the trenches, same thing. Bottling up the run, forcing the contain. It don't get any better than this, folks. Spoiling the Batlin Miners homecoming, 20-14 in overtime. This time in St. Clair, Ben Kreitzer for the Nativity Green Wave throws it up. Who's that? Is that Randy Moss? No, it's Noah Dalbin on a big catch and a big run after for 6. That combination, I feel like, has been catching and throwing touchdowns to each other for a long time. Anytime you want to know who's running the ball for the Green Wave, you better hope you pick Sam. Sam Walborn, Sam Spolsky, Sam I am. This time it's Walborn, makes a man miss. He has one person to beat. He's going to get a block. He's going to score. Nativity big time in this one. Dr. Seuss couldn't have drawn it up better. 50-0 over Shendell. Blue Mountain, a big game on the road. This time it's Gears for a big catch and run for the score. On defense, they're physical. They're tough. Fumble. Ball's out. Reese Miller knocks it loose. The Eagles have it. Again, here we go. Tunnel screen to Gears. Here he goes. Is anybody going to stop him? Nope. Meet me. Here he comes. Coming through. He's gone. Gears again on a big catch and run for the Blue Mountain Eagles. They can do it all, folks. Watch this on special teams. A blocked punt. A blocked punt. Who's going to get it? Ball's in the air. Punter recovers. He's going to try to get away. No, he can't get away. Look at the corners getting involved in the backfield, too. A big sack there. A big sack here. What is this, Oprah? We're giving them away for free, folks. This time they're going to put the ball in the air. No, says the Eagles. We're flying high. Cookies. Give me that. Blue Mountain big in this one. 63-13. North Schuylkill, it wasn't a great night to be a Spartan, but Luke Miller bottled up at the line, breaks loose, he's gone for 6. An extra point was good. North Schuylkill lost this one 7-49 to those taggers of Northwestern Lehigh. This time in Tri-Valley, Cole Gemberling, he's rumbling, he's stumbling, he could go all the way. Tri-Valley big in this one, 49-7 over Panther Valley.